What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day in the BrewLab with me, Lone Fox. Third video today. I'm trying to get these ones out fast and thick, as they say, as spoiler season is well underway, and I don't want to get left behind with the spoilers. So before either hub is updated and the June 31st spoilers are released, I would like to quickly run through the ones from yesterday, June 30th, or today for me, still in Italy. I guess it's pretty much the same everywhere except for maybe Australia at the moment. But anyway, it already seems like on Facebook there's plenty of new ones that are not on either hub or Mythic Spoiler. So somewhere in the world there's been some new spoilers already. So I need to catch up. So without further ado, let's jump into some spoilers. First of all, we have this Dimir guy here called Cridle of Baldur's Gate. Whenever Cridle of Baldur's Gate deals combat damage to a player, that player loses 1 life and mills a card. Okay, so it's a human, elf, rogue, 3 creature types. So half elf, half human, and rogue. Pretty cool, interesting, and a nice 2-drop. I think once certain things rotate, this is definitely going to find a place in the rogue deck, especially because whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that player loses 1 life and mills 1 card. So it's 1 damage from the attack, another damage from the triggered ability, plus you get to scry. Also, you can pay 2 to make it unblockable. So pretty cool. And it doesn't say target other creature, so you can obviously make it the unblockable one, making sure that you're always getting that scry and that life pretty much every turn if you've got the mana for it. So interesting, cool card here. Man, I cannot stress this enough. The level of hype is reaching peak levels. I'm just like frothing. Of course, those of you who are watching this will know that by now we have finished the June season. The ranks have reset. I got my little boosters. I got my little gold coins. I got my little gems and everything else that you get as a reward from being in Mythic. I ended up in like 91%, I think. Not my best result ever, but yeah, I think everybody was trying what I was trying, and I went on in the last 3 hours, and I just played with Nota the whole time, and I was getting about 60% win rate, and it just wasn't getting me anywhere. Everyone was trying to push into the mythic high numbers as well. I think if I'm gonna do this again next end of month, I'm gonna need something more meta busting than Minota. It's kind of tough to find something now that's just suddenly going to be shredding everybody that you play, and 60% isn't going to push you into the top 1,200 in a couple of hours. That's for sure. So anyway, enough about my my pathetic attempt. Let's continue with some spoilers. So there is now going to be a set of these new dragons that are all sitting around well, first of all, um, they've all got this, but a lot of them have these new, what seems to be keyword abilities, but that are just one-offs on certain cards. Like, for example, this green dragon. I doubt that there's going to be anything else with poison breath in the meta. The only one so far that I've seen more than one of is this one here, Pack Tactics. This is now showing up more and more. So this actually seems to be an actual keyword ability, whereas the other ones like poison breath, acid breath, or like in these instances where you're choosing an option, like you see a guard approach, distract the guard, or hide. Those aren't keyword abilities. They're just there for flavor text because it's a D&D set. So just keep that in mind. I wonder how that's going to affect the game on the long run, but I don't think it's going to be too problematic. So, moving on. Next card. Adult Gold Dragon. 5-drop. It's kind of taken up the Goldspan Dragon spot. So I'm not sure why anybody would play this except for the lifelink, I guess. Maybe just a couple of in a full dragon deck. We're gonna have to see. Oh, I can find it. How this ends up working out because there's so many new dragons, but Goldspan Dragon is so good in and of itself, and it's not rotating out in September. So I think that 5 drop slot in any dragon deck is already pretty much done and dusted. Although you never know. Also a haster, this time with lifelink. Same mana cost, but Boros colors or Lorehold colors. Lifelink is nice, but it's a smaller body. I don't know. I don't know. Pretty cool, I guess. No keyword abilities. No, just static abilities or whatever. I always forget my terminology, but flying, lifelink, haste. These are not keywords. I think they're just static abilities or whatever. Next one on this dragons list is the green dragon. Of course, all dragons are flying. This one is a little bit more expensive. So 3, 4, 5. This one's 4, 5, 6 mana to cast with flying and has poison breath. When green dragon enters the battlefield until end of turn, whenever a creature an opponent controls is dealt damage, destroy it. What would I do with this? 6 drop in a green deck. Well, I think what's trying to happen here is like they need to have. I mean, it is a Dungeons and Dragons set. There's going to be lots of dragons. That's clear enough as it is. But then I think the Tiamat, the 7 or 8 drop that was spoiled ages ago, 5-color dragon thing. Let me just dig it up here again quickly. Here it goes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drop, 5-color dragon. With things like treasure tokens, with things like the forest, what's it called? The forest that, oh my goodness, the Kaldheim forest makes all mana okay. Cannot believe I'm drawing a blank here. Oh my goodness. God. Let's just say gods. My God. Okay, I can definitely find this a lot quicker if I just quickly open. I've already got my. You guys cannot see it because I've set my OBS to capture only my browser. But right now, as I'm talking, I'm actually in my client. And the card I'm trying to think about here is called. Which deck do I have it in? Which deck do I have it in? Why can't I just remember cards at this time of the night? I'm so tired that I just forget everything I'm trying to say. Okay, don't need to look which deck it's in. I just need to go like this. Filter out. Rare, mythic rare, Kaldheim. Boom. The World Tree. Ooh, the World Tree. So with things like the World Tree, things like treasures, etc. Casting, and playing weird 5-mana decks, which have been a little bit off to the wayside lately, is going to be a heck of a lot easier. Because anyway, the World Tree needs you to have 6 lands on the battlefield before they all gain tap, add 1 mana of any color. So this is the next turn. So definitely going to be seeing a lot more of the World Tree once the D&D adventure into the Forgotten Realms drops. And I think the whole point with Tiamat, it reads, when Tiamat enters the battlefield, if you cast it, search your library for up to 5 dragon cards not named Tiamat that each have different names. Reveal them, put them into your hand. So I think these, single color dragons that, although seem to be high mana cost, probably aren't going to be with all of the ramp and things going on. Oh, and by the way, Tiamat is a god. You can go search for it with the World Tree, but that's another point. Just thought about that now. But yeah, these are the types of things that you'll be grabbing with Tiamat when you do its thing. So Green Dragon, I don't know, 4/4 flying with Poison Breath, weird. Next one up, Black Dragon, 7 mana, 4/4 flying with Acid Breath. They're all really expensive. Acid Breath says that when Black Dragon enters the battlefield, target creature an opponent controls gets -2/-3 until end of turn. Okay, okay. Also interesting, I guess. Bit weird again. I wonder where this is gonna, where this is gonna fit in. These so far, these have all been well. The Gold Dragon, funnily enough, is the only rare of the three so far. I guess because it's cheaper to cast, it has lifelink and haste. I mean, yeah, obviously, but it's I don't know, weird dragons so far. Next on the list is the 50 feet of rope. Another one of these sort of modal artifacts with more than one option. Very D&D themed. At 50 feet of rope, what do you do with the 50 feet of rope? Your dungeon master asks you, do you climb over the wall? Do you tie up? Do you rappel down? I think this is pretty rubbish, to be honest. Target wall can't block this turn. Are there going to be lots of walls where this becomes a necessary thing? Tie up. I don't know. I don't know. It is a one drop. That can be then tapped with Galazeth for mana later in the game, I guess, because it's an artifact. But that's about the only thing I can think of about this card right now. Next up, from what I've seen on forums and Facebook groups and things, this is the first Gnoll that we've had in Magic. It's pretty cool. Pack Tactics as well, another card with Pack Tactics. So whenever Targnar, the large beast, chaotic evil, attacks, if you attack with creatures with total power 6 or greater this combat turn, attacking creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. And you can double Targnar's power and toughness until end of turn for a cost of 2 colorless and 1 red and 1 green. Also, very strange. But just to, needs to be mentioned that it's another one of these pack tactics. So this thing with the if you attack with creatures total power 6 or greater is going to definitely be important mechanic in this D&D set. Adult Gold Dragon we've already seen. This is just a different art for it. Kind of think I prefer this one, to be honest. This one looks a little bit weird. Looks like a catfish with wings. I'm definitely more into this one. Then this is where the good stuff starts. Hello, Mono Green. They've been, lacking a really good 2-drop for a while now, and I think this is it. This is cool, and again, Pack Tactics. This is a really good card because to get Pack Tactics off, you need to be attacking with total power 6 or greater. One of these on turn 2 is already getting you halfway there. So if you have 2 of these, so turn 5, you can attack with 2 of these, and you can draw 2 cards. Because whenever if you fulfill the Pack Tactics conditions, then you draw a card. Pretty cool. And it has this added extra little perk that you can pay 4, 3 colorless, 1 green, and until end of turn, it becomes a 5/3 with trample that isn't human, which means you can also mutate onto it. So I wonder, this is going to be super cool. I really like this card, the design of it. Also, I think it's sort of like leading into the Innistrad things with werewolves, because there's going to be lots of werewolves and vampires coming in September. So keep your eyes on this card. I think it's going to be in highly standard playable and all over the place in your mono green stompy decks. Faux show. Moving on. Green Dragon we've already seen. More alternate art. Again, I think I prefer. Ooh, tough call. This one's pretty badass. That's a cool drawing. But I like these more old school ones. These guys are getting poison breath. They're out of here. I like the flavor text on this one. Green Dragon takes special pleasure in corrupting the good-hearted. Now, this one I have a lot to say about Zariel. First of all, I quite am annoyed by this whip. I mean, it's cool that it's like, ooh, it's coming out of the frame and everything, but eh, blocking the text here, a bit weird. Zariel, the Archduke of Avernus. This is the 4-drop slot in mono red. Okay, so what are they currently playing in this slot? Torbrand. Torbrand rotates out in September. So this could very well be the new replacement on the mana curve for mono red to replace Torbrand. And it can be said that it might not be as good or whatever you want to say about it, but honestly, like, you plop this down, it already comes into play with 4 devotion. You +1 it, and if you've played it on turn 4, there's nothing that you're gonna have on the battlefield that came into the battlefield together with it on the same turn that's gonna be needing to gain haste that turn. But regardless, you still get +1/+0 to all of your creatures, which is great. You want to just be attacking, attacking, attacking with mono red, of course. Then it has one of these like 0 devotion abilities for a planeswalker that says you can create a 1/1 red devil creature token with when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. So similar to the little goblin guys that we have now, that when they die, they do 1 damage. Or, the one that's being most played now is the one that deals damage equal to its power to any target. But pretty cool that you can just pump out a bunch of little devils, and then at some point you give them all haste and +1/+1, +1/+0 and attack in, and then if they die, you can do all of that damage straight to face. Then the -6s, you get an emblem with at the end of the first combat phase on your turn, you untap 1 target creature you control, and after this phase there is an additional combat phase. Is this finally going to be a time for Marolg to shine? Perhaps the ooh, no. Let's do this. Marolg. This guy. I always, when I see something that says a specific thing, like in this case I was talking about an additional combat phase, then I always think like, okay, what other cards and standards do that? Morag does this. At the beginning of combat, untap all creatures you control. If it is your main phase, then it's an additional combat phase, if you get landfall triggers. So is there going to be a way of like doubling up these things, both Morog and the emblem of Zariel? Interesting. We'll have to see, maybe some sort of big red deck with landfall triggers. I don't know. But regardless, if it is in Morog, or it could be a Goldspan Dragon, it can be there's so many things. So you basically get to attack a second time with one of your big creatures. Incredibly busted. I think this card is going to be incredibly playable after rotation, and you should definitely be scared of it and prepared to counter it in some way, shape, or form once Torbrand rotates out of standard. Moving on. Orb of Dragonkind. This one I really like. Like, really, really like. Essentially Dragon Ramp. So think about it. It's a 2-drop. It's an artifact. And the first ability on it says you pay 1, tap, and add 2 mana of any combination of colors. Spend this mana only to cast dragon spells or activate abilities of dragons. So, turn 1, play a blue land. Turn 2, play a red land, cast Orb of Dragonkind. Turn 3, pay 1, tap it. You get 2 +3. Okay, it's not quite enough to get Galazeth down on turn 3, is it? I think then what I'm trying to say is probably a turn 4 Goldspan is where you're trying to go with this guy. And if you don't have a Goldspan, you play this. I mean, you play your Galazeth. Wait, let me do the math again. So, turn 2, you slam this down. Turn 3, you play a land. That's right. So you've got 3 lands. That's right, plus this one. So you pay one of those lands that you've just played. I mean, pay 1. You left with 2. You tap this. You get sorry. Turn 3 Galazeth. Galazeth comes into play and makes a treasure token. Next turn you untap, you have this orb itself that can be tapped by Galazeth, as long as you're casting instants and sorceries. But then hopefully you'll be playing another land. You've also got the treasure token. Suddenly you've got a ridiculous amount of mana by turn 4, and you can be not only using it as a mana rock for dragons, but it has another ability on it that says if you pay 1 red, you sacrifice Orb of Dragonkind. You may look, or you look at the top 7 cards of your library, and you may reveal a dragon card among them, put it into your hand, and the rest into the bottom of your library in a random order. So again, like dragons, 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 dragons. I'm so amped. This is going to be cool. I'm going to be playing. I'm going to craft 4 of these straight away. I think this is going to be great if you want to play anything dragon based. This is going to be really, really cool. Also, dragon spells. Does that also mean the new what's it called? Dragon something. The exile sweeper thing. Although, like I mentioned in a previous video, this card is pretty good right now, Draconic Intervention, because there aren't that many dragons in Standard, except if you're playing a mirror match with Izzet Dragons or something like that. I mean, there are a few really good ones, of course, but chances are you're not going to be going against a dragon deck every single game. Oh, beg your pardon. However, we are going into Dungeons and Dragons meta after this, so Draconic Intervention becomes less and less relevant because there's going to be loads of dragons that will be not affected by it. So it'll be interesting to see. But however, is this considered a dragon spell? I don't think so. I think it's just a sorcery. So never mind. Forget I said anything. Next up, Dueling Rapier. This is cool. This is really cool for mono red. I'm starting to already dread mono red. I already hate it enough as it is. I was hoping, with the rotation of Embercleave, things will get a little better, but I have my doubts because this is another great card. 1 mana flash. When Dueling Rapier enters the battlefield, attach it to target creature you control. So another one of those cool. They've gone back to what they did with Zendikar Rising, where the equipments come into play and get attached straight away. Equipped creature gets +2/+0. So really good, really, really good. I don't think I even need to explain why that's good. Like, it's cheap. You can pump a creature. It's flash. You can play it on your opponent's turn. Put this on a Brazen Borrower. I mean, on a Robber of the Rich. Annoying. This one, the next card is this is probably in my top 5 so far as cards go. Ebon Death or Ebon Death Draco Lich. 4 mana, 2 and 2 black, legendary creature, zombie dragon with flash and flying. It's a 5/2 that has recursion. So Ebon Dragon Lich enters the battlefield tapped. So of course with flash you're trying to cast this either at some point during your opponent's turn. The best. God, I'm so sorry. I'm so exhausted. I really need to get through this one quickly, or I'm never going to be able to do my deck for tonight as well. I might have to go make a quick coffee. By the way, stick around for that if you are watching this, because the next video I'm doing is going to be a really, really cool, especially now that we're all back in Platinum. I thought it would be nice to play some slightly less meta decks and play something a little bit more interesting and fun. So yeah, I'm going to be playing a Witherbloom Pests deck for you guys. And this is it's not the typical CGB one that's topping Etherhub now for months. This is my version, and I really, 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 really like it. It's even ready for best of 3, but I'm playing it as best of 1 deck today. Anyway, enough about that. So you cast this at your opponent's end step, um, and you may cast it from your graveyard if a creature not named Ebon Lich, Ebon Death Draco Lich entered, died this turn. So a recurring 5/2 cheap flying dragon that just keeps coming back from. I love this card. I cannot stress how great this is going to be. That I think that's why they gave it the mythic rating. Keep your eyes on this card. It's going to be shredding people. You get to untap and attack for 5 on turn 5, and then if they kill it, you can just keep bringing it back as long as something that not named it died that turn, even if it's a creature your opponent controls. Doesn't have to be one of yours. This is going to be groovy. Next up, we have the Book of Vile Darkness. This is one of those ones where we need to see what the other cards that it mentions are before I can make any specific calls on it. But if anything, 3 pips for a Black Devotion deck is pretty cool, though you probably want to be playing Ayara or something instead of this. But the Book of Vile Darkness. At the beginning of your end step, if you lost 2 or more life this turn, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. So that in and of itself is pretty damn sweet, as it is in your sort of black self-sacrificing type decks where you're taking damage by yourself to obtain certain advantages and get value out of something. There's plenty of cards in black that do that. Pay 2 life, blah 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 blah. So every time you do that, you'll be creating a well, I mean, not every time, but at least once at your end step, you can create a 2/2 zombie creature token. So pretty cool in your zombie decks. But then, so maybe this is like zombies re-emerging. I mean, Dungeons and Dragons, there's zombies in dungeons. But this is the part where I said we need to see what the other cards that it's talking about do before we can really make a judgment call on it. You can tap it and exile it, and artifacts you control named Eye of Vecna and Hand of Vecna alongside with it. And then you create Vecna, a legendary 8/8 black zombie god creature token with Indestructible. It gains all triggered abilities of the exiled cards. So obviously, Eye of Vecna and Hand of Vecna have some cool triggered abilities that we haven't seen yet. But, you know, it will not only be getting this at the beginning of your end step thing with the 2/2 zombie tokens, but also whatever Eye of Vecna and Hand of Vecna do as well. And it's an 8/8 with Indestructible. Whew, epic. I dig the whole flavor text as well. It's as if you need to be casting a spell, and you need the book, and you need the hand, and you need the eye, and then once they all come together, oh, you summon the zombie god. Super cool. Black Dragon we've already seen. This is just the alternate art for it. In this case, or probably the normal art for it. I kind of prefer this one. Actually, definitely prefer this one. Although this one's still also pretty damn cool as well. Next up, we have a one of those sort of dungeon master questions. You find a villain's lair. What do you do? Well, now you can either foil their scheme or learn their secrets. This is going to be epic. Your it's another 3 mana instant counter spell, but it has another thing attached onto it. So not only, it just doesn't sit in your hand if there's nothing that you need to counter. There's versatility. Other cards like this that I can mention might be Cancel with cycling for 2. But this is better because you don't have to cycle it and pay the 2. You just pay the 3, and you can either counter target spell with the same cost as every other blue counter spell. That just says counter target spell, like every starter. There's loads of them. There's a new one printed in every set. Sword Coming is and has been for now the most played one because it can be cost reduced down to 2. But this one gets you the added versatility of being able to draw 2 cards and then discard 2 cards. So it's like the one mode on the Prismari command stapled onto a counterspell. Epic. epic. This is going to see loads of play, I'm sure of it, especially after rotation. Um, Moon Blessed Cleric, interesting. Human Elf Cleric. So we're seeing this more than once now. These human elves, where there's more than one creature type. The first one was this guy, Krydle of Baldur's Gate, human elf. So maybe some sort of Esper list forming here with human elves, tribal, and also, party. This is a rogue, this is a cleric. Gets my juices going straight away. This little guy here, Moonblessed Cleric, has one of these not repeating keyword abilities called Divine Intervention that says when Moonblessed Cleric enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an enchantment card, reveal it, then shuffle your library and put that card on top. It would be cool if it went into your hand instead of on top, but still, 3-drop, that's a 3/2. It's kind of in Bone Crusher Giant range, unfortunately, but you can go and dig up your best enchantment in your deck and put it to the top of the library on turn 4. You draw it. That's pretty busted. I think it's going to see a bit of play. I'm not sure exactly where. Next up, we have Paladin of Devotion. 4 colorless, 1 white. Beacon of Hope is its little keyword ability thing. When Paladin of Devotion enters the battlefield, creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain vigilance until end of turn. Ooh, this is so epic for mono white. I cannot wait. If they just gave us a little bit of card drawing mono white, I cannot wait for a sort of more mid-rangey mono white that isn't your, what the mono white that we've been dealing with for the last 2, 3 seasons in a row with Season Hallowed Blade and all that crap. Like once that rotates out, I'm looking forward to playing a more sort of mid-rangey mono white that has hopefully some card draw somewhere in there. Because this is going to be really cool. There was some amazing spells that I was playing, 2 years ago before the last rotation that had a similar effect, but it was a combat trick. What was it called again? Oh my goodness. And cards have been out of standard for that long, I really draw a blank. But anyway, you know what I mean. Everything gets +1/+1 in vigilance until end of turn. That's epic. You can attack in and not leave yourself open to attackers the following turn, or your creatures remain untapped for blocking as well. So great card. I'm super stoked for that one. I'm gonna skip these odd art ones and go straight for the normal art ones. Um, Oswald Fiddlebender, legendary creature, gnome artificer. Uh, for 2 mana, 2/2, you can pay 1 and tap it, sacrifice an artifact. Search your library for an artifact card with mana value equal to 1 plus the sacrificed artifact's mana value. Put that card onto the battlefield and shuffle. Activate this only as a sorcery. This is being, made a rare. So there's definitely some part of the puzzle that we're missing here of why this is going to be considered to be so good and requires the rare gold symbol there. I think some of these that I talked about earlier today, Mimic, Treasure Chest, this type of stuff is the reason why that card is like that. Also, I don't know if you have noticed, but we're getting a little bit more of these colored artifacts than usual. Usually artifacts are colorless. But now we've got Sphere of Annihilation, it's a black artifact. Black Staff of Waterdeep, blue artifact. That's not the only ones. I can find a couple more for sure. Well, first of all, this equipment is going to be a white equipment artifact that the Icing Death Frost Tyrant creates when it dies. There was another one. Oh, yeah, of course. Orb of Dragonkind is a red artifact. Here we go. Book of Vile Darkness, another black artifact. So, interesting. Interesting. There's some piece of the puzzle missing for which I cannot give you a proper sort of reason why this required a gold rare little symbol here, but Watsy obviously knows there's still plenty of cards that need to be spoiled. I'm sure we will find out as the spoiler season progresses. This is a cool one. I like this one. Tiger Tribe Hunter. Another one of these with pack tactics. It's a little bit pricey, which is probably why it's an uncommon. So for 3 and 2 red, so 5 mana, you get a 4/4 with Trample and Pack Tactics. So whenever Tiger Tribe Hunter attacks, if you attack with creatures with total power of 6 or greater this combat turn, you may sacrifice a creature. If you do, Tiger Tribe Hunter deals damage to target creature equal to the sacrificed creature's power. Mono red is going to be cool. Cannot wait for rotation to see how mono red like adapts to this new bunch of cards in Adventures into the Forgotten Realm. It's going to be really, really, really cool and different. Then earlier today in my previous video, by the way, if you haven't gone and seen that, go and watch it. If you like this type of content, I hope. Essentially, the way I'm doing my spoiler videos, as opposed to a lot of the other guys, is I want to learn these cards. So I am looking at the spoilers, and instead of me just sitting alone in front of my computer and keeping quiet and reading the cards, I'm talking out loud as I read them, so that like you and I can learn together and see these together. It feels like I'm just talking to my buddies, and we're talking about the new cards that are coming. So I hope you like this format, and if you do subscribe, do like the video, do hit the bell icon. You will get notified when I go live tomorrow. I'm going to be spoiling all the way through spoiler season, doing this type of video. We're on spoiler talk part 3, and I have a feeling we might get up to part 6 or 7 before all the set is spoiled. But continuing on, basically what I was saying is earlier today I said how goblins are looking to make a huge comeback, and I can't wait to make a mono red goblin deck. And this is another one. Hobgoblin Captain, Goblin Barbarian, Pack Tactics. Again, when Hobgoblin Captain attacks, if you attack with creatures with total power 6 or greater this combat, Hobgoblin Captain gains first strike until end turn. Not as cool as the others, but it is a 2-drop goblin. Easy peasy to get down with a bit of a high, strength. So I quite like it. Let's see how it goes. Uh, Interesting one. Let's see. This is another one that I'm just like a little bit confused about. 2 mana, 1 colorless, 1 black for a creature zombie soldier, white. White enters the battlefield tapped. Life drain. Whenever a creature dealt damage by white this turn dies, create a tapped 2/2 black zombie creature token. Exile that card. This had flash and didn't come into the battlefield tapped, it would be mythic. Since it is, I still like it. This is going to go into some sort of a zombie deck together with the Artificer dude that we spoiled earlier. Maybe some black dragons. Ooh, man, I cannot wait! It's now just gone over midnight in Italy, so when I press this, it now says 7 days. 1 week to go, lads. 1 week to go for sweet, sweet new set drops. Stick around as well for that video because I'm going to be cracking like 200 packs on day 1. Next card in the list. We're almost at the end. Dragon Turtle. I love it how the name of the card is also the creature type. Dragon Turtle is a Dragon Turtle. 3 mana, 1 colorless, 2 blue for a Dragon Turtle 3/5 that has Flash. Drag Below is the keyword ability here. When Dragon Turtle enters the battlefield, tap it, and up to 1 target creature an opponent controls. They don't untap until during their next opponent's turn. So it's fine if it doesn't untap because you're getting something important that they control to not untap either, and you're flashing in it at the end of their step. So they attack in, even if it's a vigilant creature, let's say a Elder Gargoth or something. After they either you flash it in and block something important because it is a 5 toughness, which is great as a blocker. So you can flash in. No, you can't block. Can you? I'd have to see how this triggers work with that. So could you flash in, declare it as a blocker, and then tap it? No, I don't think so. Hmm. So you might want to do it before combat. Before combat, flash it in, tap whatever they're going to be attacking with, and then that both of these don't, the one you tapped and yours don't untap during their controller's next untap steps. Interesting. It's cheap. It's got a lot of toughness. It's got flash. It's got this. I think this is pretty good. Maybe some sort of mono blue tempo deck seems to be emerging from the meta as well. Celestial Unicorn, the next card on our list. This is kind of another one of the gain +1/+1 whenever you gain life thingies, like Johnny's Pride Mate or whatever. I think this, in conjunction with the Selesnya guy we spoke yesterday, 2-drop, then you play a little unicorn as a 3-drop. There's other cards that do this type of thing, maybe some sort of +1/+1 counter tribal Selesnya deck. I kind of like it. I think it might even have deserved to have an uncommon rating. Maybe if it was 2 mana, it would have been uncommon. Or if it was a 3/3. Still, nice card. Cool art as well on this field of fluffy dandelions. The rearing unicorn. Now this next card is, I don't know what to say about this. I don't think we've ever had, uh, ever, at least since I've been playing Magic. I did skip 10 years somewhere there in the middle, but from Tempest onwards, or even before Tempest, I think I started playing when I was 7 years old. I'm 34 now. So yeah, like ever since I've been playing Magic, at least, like I have not seen Red have something like this. So wish, it's like a wish board. You may play a card you own from outside this game, just outside the game this turn. Trippy, interesting, cool to have. Maybe not in the mono red deck either, of course. I wonder what this is gonna do. Really cool art. I don't really know if it's breaking the color pie. It seems to me like it is though. Let's see how it goes. Okay. Next up, the Gelatina Ochre. Ochre Jelly. Another ooze. Lots of oozes. Trample Ochre Jelly enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. It has a keyword ability called Split that when Ochre Jelly dies, if it had 2 or more +1/+1 counters on it, you create a token that's a copy of it at the beginning of the next end step. That token enters the battlefield with half as many +1/+1 counters on it, rounded down. So if it's a 4/4, it'll just become a 2/2. If it's 5/5, it'll be a 2/2. If it's a 6/6, it'll be a 3/3. So, rounded down always, halving the counters. But it's an X spell in green. I like this a lot. I'm looking forward to making a black-green ooze tribal deck, like almost on day one. So keep your eyes peeled on this guy. There's so many other oozes that have to do with +1/+1 counters that I think we're going to be able to do something really interesting with this. I need to see what other cards come out before I have a full verdict, but definitely standard playable. I think we're going to see this a lot in the meta. Especially in your sort of Selesnya counters decks or some sort of loose tribal thing. I can't wait. Cannot wait. Nearing the end. The last couple of green cards before there's another little bit of red and white and black. Intrepid Outlander. It's a 2 mana, 2/3 Orc Ranger with reach and pack tactics. Whenever Intrepid Outlander attacks, if you're 6 or more, venture into the dungeon. So finally, this is like I think the first card in green other than Eliwick, the Planeswalker that we talked about on my first spoiler video. Where is she? Eliwick. There she is. It's the only other green card I've seen that has venture into the dungeon stapled onto it as a thing. So Cool. Really, really cool. Can't wait. Cannot wait to be playing these dungeons and see how they play out. Is it going to be mostly a limited mechanic? Is it going to be busted af? Is it going to be, I don't know. I would really love to hear your opinions. So far, I'm really liking it. I'm just not sure if it's going to be that competitive. Next up, we have Inspiring Bard. When Inspiring Bard enters the battlefield, choose one. Bardic Inspiration, target creature you control. So this is the second card with Bardic Inspiration. There's another red bard that I saw down here somewhere. So, these keyword abilities aren't all singular. There's some that are, across the set. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna make another coffee before I jump into the next video. Inspiring Bard, 4 mana. That's probably why it's common. But you can choose one. You can either target creature gets +2/+2 until the end of turn, or you can gain 3 life with Song of Rest. Wake up, my friends. There are deeds to be done and treasures to be won. Meh, meh. Only just a limited card. Wish we've already seen. Battle Cry of the Goblin. More goblins. Oh goodness. What's wrong with you, Lone Fox? Am I like gonna start liking mono red after this set drops? After rotation? I mean, I used to play like one of my first good decks when I used to play paper, 15, 16 years old, going to the FNMs and stuff. Mono red burn was like my thing. And now I hate them because I just get thrashed by them all the time. But could this, and also because the current mono red just feels like you're cheating. So I kind of really like where it's going. And goblins, I like me some goblins. So 2 mana, 2/2 goblin. Pay an extra 2. Don't need to tap, so you can do this over and over again if you as a mana sink. All the goblins you control get +1/+0 and gain haste. Epic. This together with that 4 mana Planeswalker guy. That's also making. Oh no, these are devils. I thought they were goblins. Still cool. And it has pack tactics. So if you attack with creatures, you create a 1/1 red goblin. So this, I think, will probably go great with that creature land, the Den of the Bugbear. Whenever this creature attacks, you create 1/1. I can really picture us going super duper wide with a buttload of goblins, and another of the few already existing good goblins that are on standard that will not rotate out. I think tomorrow I'm gonna theory craft a goblin deck for one of my waiting for Adventures in the Forgotten Realms decks, where we just like craft the deck on either hub and have it ready as soon as the set drops. You'll just be able to craft it straight away. Nearing the end, last couple of cards, we have a Baleful Beholder for 6 mana, 6/5 common. This is probably mostly a limited card as well. When Baleful Beholder enters the battlefield, you may choose one. It's either Anti-Magic Cone, each opponent sacrifices an enchantment, or Fear Raid. Creatures you control gain menace until end of turn. Creature with menace can't be blocked except for the bomb. Okay, we all know what that does. Meh, meh, meh. Definitely a one-of in some weird limited deck, but I don't see this being anything really in standard. And then last but not least, another one-drop hawk bird thing. Some sort of bird tribal coming up. Maybe some re-emergence of a Azorius Flyers list. 1/1 for 1 with flying. Has pay 3, tap. Tap another untapped creature you control, venture into the dungeon. Okay. Interesting. I'd love to hear your opinions. Really. Okay, let's do the thing I was dreading to do. Let's because now we've gone past midnight in my country. If I press refresh, are we gonna get a? Okay, it's still just these. So I have a bit of a breather to read the cards tomorrow and get back to you with the latest spoilers. That's going to be it for tonight as far as spoilers are concerned. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and leave me all those tasty, tasty comments down below. This is Lone Fox from the BrewLab, signing out. Peace, y'all.